Hey everyone, welcome to our UK Hangout. This is awesome, but right now neither one of us is in the UK. So hoping some friends from the UK will join us. And Mike, where are you traveling to right now? You are on vacation in Canada, I hear.
Yeah, I'd like to say it's vacation, but it's literally an hour and a half drive from where we live. It's just my partner works away with work, so we've just come. We're in a place called Moncton in New Brunswick, so we've been here for 2 weeks. We go home on Friday, so yeah,
Oh, that
it's
is,
nice. The weather's nice. The weather's
uh,
great.
you know
So.
what I love is that we were talking in our weekly podcast that comes before this, the Collateral Nation, where we talk about walking as medicine. And I think you brought up a really good point that when you travel and you have PAD, you can't just give up your walking regimen. And I love the way you prepared for this vacation or this staycation, as you call it. Um, Anytime you're not staying at home, I still call it a vacation. Um, how did you prepare for this vacation so that you wouldn't lapse in your walking regiment?
Well, I've got to say it's one thing that I do worry about is when we do go away on holidays and stuff. It's where do I get my workouts in every day? And we stay in a hotel, so I know that there's gyms and pools and stuff like that. So I can always rely on the treadmill. Um,
Mhm.
but I always go on All Trails. There's an app called All Trails, and it's just I hunt out the hikes and the decent walks around and the parks. And we've got a decent river just 200 yards away from the hotel, and it's we get high tide and low tide in the river, which is pretty cool. But there's a 15-kilometer trail or plus alongside the river on either side, so I knew straight away as soon before we even got here that I was going to be able to go and get me walks in every single day. So yeah,
But it's fun to
plan
be
ahead
able to
is the
plan ahead. Exactly. And I
yeah.
know that you were driving, you didn't have that far of a drive, but we also suggest that if you are ending up with a long drive, to plan ahead of time and break it up. When I travel with my dad, we have a 9-hour drive to San Diego from where we live in Marin County, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge, north of San Francisco. We end
Mm,
up plotting ahead of time. Okay, so we're going to stop every hour to hour and a half, and here are the different locations that we are going to stop. They have little grassy areas to walk the dogs. We can get out for about 10 minutes, move around. And then secondarily, we also break up the drive mostly into 2 days so that we
mm.
can, we don't have to spend, 5 hour, more than 5 to 6 hours in the car that day. We can just do it in 2 days, plan for those 2 days when you can, and find locations that when you do have a stayover, that those locations do have a good walking area that you can get in after you're done with your drive, before you go have dinner, after you feed the dogs, of course, if you have
Yeah.
dogs, that you can take a 1 hour walk and get some of that exercise in that day, because you just need to move, move, move when you have PAD.
Yeah, I'm quite worried. In a couple of weeks, we've got a couple of friends coming over from the UK to visit. My best friend's coming over, but into Toronto to go and pick them up and doing a road trip back. So, and it's a
Mm,
16-hour drive from where we are to Toronto. So
wow.
we're breaking it up in 2 days. So we're
Yeah.
doing an 8-hour drive to Montreal and then staying over in Montreal and doing another night over to Toronto to pick them up. But I know that 8 hours is a long time
Too long.
Yep.
I,
in a
Yep.
car.
Hi,
I mean,
I
Kathy.
would,
we've done it
Kathy's
before.
joining
hiya.
us.
Hi, Kathy.
I would break up your 8 hour drive with at least one, but preferably two stops in the 8 hour
Oh, there'll
drive.
be three.
That way it's not as bad.
Yeah.
We regularly drive to England, which although it's not very far away, the traffic is so bad that it takes you a long time. So
Yeah,
we'll always
we
break it up,
because
you know.
Yeah, because it's 8 hours to Montreal. We normally do it in we share the drive-in, so Geordie will do 2 hours and then I'll do 2 hours, and we'll swap it like that. So we'll be taking 3 breaks during that time. So I'll make sure that I get a good walk around while we're at the services, and like Kim said, take the dogs for a walk.
The
While we're
other
on the
And
thing
Dawn
you
travels
could
just
and
joined
stuff.
do,
us too. We're talking about
It-
traveling with P.A.D.
if you
and making sure you take the stops.
push your passenger seat back, Mike, so your legs are as long as you can stretch them into the. It might make
Good
you
tip.
look a bit like the Sultan of Brunei being driven about because you'll be away behind you. But it will take the pressure off the bend in your knees, which you can't avoid when you're driving.
Yeah. And to be honest, just doing the 2 hour, well, 1.5 hour, 2 hour drive to where we are at the moment, away from home, I kind of had a little bit of a panic attack when we arrived here last week because I felt it looked as if one of my ankles had swollen up. And it hadn't. I think it was just me and my mindset. And I kept on looking at my ankles and I was like, my right ankle's swollen. It's getting some fluid retention in it. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it wasn't. It wasn't. I was just overthinking being my normal self.
You need to believe that, I mean, you're going to get ankle injuries, you're going to sprain things, you're going to have days when you think, that's different, and I'll think about that. And then about 2 days later, you'll have forgotten it happened, and you go, so try to keep it in perspective. Everybody has sore ankles one day they get up, and, I mean, ordinary people who don't have P.A.D get up one day and have a sore foot.
Yeah.
Or one's more swollen than the other, and you can't remember if you bumped it or twisted it or anything. So, but it's good to pay attention, and you do if you are sometimes sitting for a long period of time. Sometimes the doctors do suggest very, very light compression socks. I know you don't have your doctor with you, right now for regular guidance, but they do sometimes have that. Give me 1 second. I'm jumping to a Leg Saver hotline call. There's the number if anyone ever needs any help, but I got to go jump and grab it.
Go ahead.
Hi, Dawn.
Sure.
How's it?
Hi there. Sorry, I'm a wee bit late.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's all
I'm
right. I'm
grand.
only
It's a
in
bit
2
hectic here.
seconds
My
ahead of
son,
you.
that's my son over there in the back there.
Oh, hiya. What's his
Hi.
name?
Might as well wave.
What's his
Might as
name?
well wave. They can see you anyway. Yes, we're a bit hectic here, but I'm all right there. So yeah. Hey, Mike, is it hot where you are? Is that why also you're maybe things will swell up a wee bit? No.
It is warm, yeah. We're in autumn like you guys. We're just coming out of the summer, but it's still like 27 some days. So
It's
it's
11 feels like 6 here today. So I have got the
really.
woolen cashmere jumper, the vest, the winter long johns. It's
pretty.
the wind chill.
It's pretty good where we are actually. I was telling
Yeah.
Kim we're right on. We're like 200 yards away from a riverbed it goes by the tide of the sea. So
Yeah,
at the
you
moment
showed
the
us that
riverbed's
photograph. That's
dry.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's dry at the moment, but at 7 o'clock tonight, it fluctuates every day. Like the hour, like the other day, the tidal wave came through at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then
I know,
the
it'd be
next day it was
wonderful.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. Well, it's got to tonight. It's at 7 p.m.
So you've got to get
And
out for that.
when the sea rises, the water comes through the riverbed, so we actually get a tidal wave through the
wonderful.
river.
Yeah.
And there was a surfer on it the other day, surfing it
Brilliant.
right the way through the river. It's pretty phenomenal, actually.
Hey,
It's
isn't
really
that one
cool.
like in Bristol? Isn't that as well like there? Isn't it?
Is it like that
Avon
there?
does that. There is a something bore or whatever,
It's a
isn't there, that goes up
riptide.
through there?
Yeah.
No,
I
it's
didn't
like
know
Tidal
that.
it
bore,
is just
yeah.
the tide coming
Yeah.
in, and because
Yeah.
it's like it all gets narrow, and of course it just becomes like a wave,
Yeah.
and people do surf it in. So they do, yeah.
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 And then a little bit in the evening it reverses, so that
Right.
obviously it'll go back out to sea.
There must
It
be
happens twice a day.
dangerous times then when you could be pulled out to sea if you're in the wrong
Oh
place.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So,
exciting though. What
and
an
we went.
exciting place to live by.
Oh, it's great. It's great. And we went out to a place on Monday called Hopewell Rock. rocks.
Yeah, I saw
And
the
again,
photographs. They look
that was
amazing.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was high tide and low tide as well. So at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it was low tide. So we could go down onto the beach and we were walking around, and these phenomenal rock forms were breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. They were gorgeous. And then the staff, they monitor the beach, and then like I think it was about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the staff members were like, right, come on, you need to get off the beach and stuff, and they were monitoring how many people were there. So and then the tide comes in, but it just completely takes away the whole beach, all the rocks disappear. It was pretty good. It was a
That
pretty good
frightens
day.
me about P.A.D because we used to do a lot of sort of beach walking, and there's a beach in Biarritz that runs for about 6 miles, and if at certain times of the tide you can start in Bidart, which is quite far south, and walk the 4 miles into Biarritz on the beach. But as we were, the last time we did this walk, is rocks as well. It's not, you can't walk up the beach when you get to Biarritz. There's points in the way where you walk up the beach. And the last time we did it, we walked up at the point where there was a restaurant, and we possibly overstayed the restaurant because it was very attractive because it had, you know, seats out in the sand and sails and good food, which meant that when we came to the bit getting closer, the tide was coming in, and I was beginning to panic, and Jerry is saying, it's all right, and I'm looking at these boulders and thinking we're going to have to scramble these boulders. And then we met a lifeguard chap coming towards us, and I said, how much time to walk to that area where the boulders were less? And he said, 20 minutes or something like that, or 10 minutes, he said. And I said, for a slow walker? And he said, 5 minutes. So I was like, so we had to
Quick
walk back.
scramble up
We
there.
had to walk back on the road, but we had to scramble up. Yeah. So that worries me about being stuck in a place where the tide's coming in, but actually, as you say, you get plenty of notice.
Yeah,
I just don't
and
know.
I didn't realize that it was an actual. I just thought that when we were planning it, I'd googled it, and I just thought that we were going to go and see these rocks on the beach. I just thought it was going to be a car park. You could, you know, have a walk on the beach, go and see these rocks and stuff, and do it on your own time. But it was an actual, like a national trust place.
Yeah.
So you paid to get in. It was like $20 each to get in. You walked in, they had a gift shop, they had a restaurant, play area for kids, loads of viewing areas.
A day
And
out.
then
Yeah.
the walk, yeah, it was a full. We spent 5 hours there. 5
Yeah.
hours,
Well, you
yeah.
paid
And we got home at
$20,
1
so you
o'clock in the
gotta
afternoon.
do that
Yeah.
now.
It was a very
Yeah.
impressive step count.
And I met some
Mike.
English people. I met some English
Yeah.
people there
Oh,
as
did
well that
you?
were from
They're everywhere.
from Dorset. From Dorset. She just came over and asked me for directions to the next lookout part. So I answered her, and she went, "Oh, where are you from?" So I said Manchester, and she went, "Oh, I'm from Dorset." And they were doing like a road trip. So they were going through to America. They were doing Maine and Louisiana, I think. I think said that. But they've been in Canada for a couple of weeks, so that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
So
look
you've
how
been out and
far
about a
you've
lot
come,
then, Mike, huh?
Look how far
Sorry,
you've
Dora?
come.
Aye,
Who,
indeed.
me?
Yeah, indeed. You're doing so much,
You
aren't
were
you?
thinking you weren't getting off the city and you weren't going to have a life, and look what you're doing.
I know. I've got that. I was telling Kim and Kevin before, and Josh, that I've got that 13-kilometer walk coming up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm a bit apprehensive of that, because the bridge that we're crossing, it's on an incline most of the way.
Does it then go down?
No, at the end it's got a big hump. So even though you're doing like an incline all the way, right at the end, the last, say, probably the last kilometer is like a hump. It's like a humpback bridge. So I'm a bit apprehensive about it, to be honest, but I'm
think
gonna
you'll
give it
be
my
fine.
best. Yeah.
Do they
you
give
walk-
you
is it
water
like-
en route? Can you get water
Sorry,
top-ups en route?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got places to get water and keep hydrated. They've got shuttle buses as well that are constantly going over. If people can't make it, then they'll pick you up via a bus
Hey,
and
but
stuff.
it's not a race, is it though, Mike? Huh?
It's not what, sorry?
Not a race, is it? It's like it's just to finish it, right?
No. It's for charity. It's for
Yeah.
it's called the Terry Fox Foundation, and Terry Fox. I think it was in the early '80s. He was a cancer patient, and he lost his leg to cancer, so he was an amputee. And then so he wanted to make $1 million for charity foundation. So what he did was he set this charity up to walk right across Canada. So he was going from Newfoundland to Vancouver Island. So anyway, he started it after he got his prosthetic leg. He started it and he got from Newfoundland to Ontario, I think it is. But then the cancer came back and he passed away.
Oh.
So every year now they do the Terry Fox Memorial Walk, and it's all over Canada. People people do the whole length of it, but every province in different cities do a Terry Fox race.
Right. That's great.
Yeah. So, and where we're doing it's called the Confederation Bridge, and it's over the ocean, and it's from New Brunswick to Prince Edward Island.
How's the wind?
This is
is
just,
it okay?
well, not too sure because it's not actually a walking bridge. It's only traffic. So they close this bridge every 5 years for this walk.
Right.
They do the walk every year, but they close this bridge once every 5 years.
It sounds really fun, but it does
people to
sound
do it.
like, isn't it just like everybody does it? So I wouldn't imagine like the pace is particularly fast or anything, you know? Sounds
No,
like it's
but I
about the
think
event,
there'll be
isn't it,
people-
right?
I think you'll be
Yeah,
fine,
there'll be people
Mike.
running it. Yeah, thereul be people running it. There'll
There's
be
always
people doing
mushes
that.
everywhere,
but-
Mike. There's mushes everywhere. We don't worry about them. We
Take
just want to walk
extra
with the crowd,
socks,
you
though.
know.
Take fresh
Yeah.
socks, because they really give you more miles to your legs, changing your socks. When you think when your feet
Yeah.
are done, you change your socks, you'll get another few miles.
There.
And that's the thing, because I'll have a backpack on as well. I've not done any kind of lengthy walk with a heavy backpack on, because I'll have my shoes. I'll have a spare pair of shoes, drinks, snacks,
Why have you got to
and
carry
stuff like
spare
that in the bag.
shoes?
Yeah, but
Why
that's,
are you
yeah.
Well,
carrying
I was
extra
gonna take a separate pair of shoes just in case the shoes that I've got on start irritating me at all. So I was just gonna take a light pair of shoes just to
I would just
change
take a bunch
into
of
if need be.
Compeed and another pair of socks, Mike. I don't
You
think
know,
you'll
I
have a
wouldn't do the
problem.
shoes either. You know what? I've
Yeah.
got, you know, those plasters, like Complan plasters. Do you
Compeed,
know those ones?
aye.
Compeed. Oh yeah, Compeed, yeah. Complan is something else. Compeed. They're really good. They're like for blisters, you know?
Just take
But like
plasters.
but they're like, you know, kind of special for blisters. But the thing is I put them on before. So
Yeah.
I use them as preventative things
Yeah.
to stop any
On the
rubbing in my
tender
feet.
on the tender spots, like the back
On the
of your
tender
heel,
spots
the
on my
side
foot,
of your
yeah.
toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe anything underneath, but you know, that will help.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't get
Carry
the rubbing,
extra
you see.
shoes, Mike, you'll get teed off with the extra weight, and
You will.
they'll
You'll
not
be
make
chucking
a
them in the
difference.
water.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, because we don't know, like Kathy said, the weather, we don't know. It's going to be really windy because it's over the ocean. So when we got to the highest part of the bridge, it is probably going to be windy. So yeah,
Exciting, Mike. It's so exciting. What an exciting thing
There'll be
to
lots
do.
of people though, so that will
I
help
know.
protect you against the wind.
Right,
If there's
Yeah.
other people, you
And
know.
we've raised
Aye.
we've raised over $800 between
Well
us,
done.
me and my
That's
partner,
great.
Wow.
for
Well
the
done.
charity as well.
I
So
really think that
Fantastic.
most of those people are going to be strolling over there, Mike. So I don't think they're going to be walking at any sort of pace. And I reckon you'll find that you'll actually be like, you know what, I can do this. And they'll stop and they'll have a drink, they'll have something to eat, and
You'll
you'll
like
stop
it.
as
It'll be
well.
great fun.
And no one will
Yeah.
even notice, you know?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I said to Geordie the other day, I don't even mind if we're last.
It won't matter.
If we're last, it
You
doesn't
won't be
matter.
last.
It doesn't matter at all. As long as we do it, as long as we can do it, it's I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. And then I've got a really good line dance next Wednesday, just to let you know. I'm doing another line dance next Wednesday, and it's
I
quite a
want the
fast-paced
video,
one.
Mike. I want the
So
video.
I'm gonna get Geordie to record it because I've been learning that, and I can do it pretty well, I think.
Great.
So I'm looking forward to that. So,
Very good, very good. And look,
hi,
I see
Sarah,
there's
by
somebody
the
else.
way.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Sarah, yeah, no.
I've
had
just
such a
been
good tale
rambling
to
on. I
tell
do
us.
apologise.
Hello, Sarah. I don't think I've met you before. Hi.
No, I don't get to make many of these. I tend to still be in the kitchen clearing up from dinner, but today I've managed to finish a bit early, and I actually came up to read and then looked at my emails and saw that you guys are in the Hangouts. So I thought, best catch up with you all and see how you are.
Oh,
and
nice.
going on.
Now you've
That's
guilted
really
me,
nice.
Sarah. Now you've guilted me. I'll show you my kitchen. I decided to do the call. My husband did make the dinner. Huh.
Wait. Oh no, you've got
a
you've got
backdrop.
you've got a lake there, Kathy.
Is
Oh,
that in your
we'll have to
garden?
take the backdrop away. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on a minute, and I'll bring the camera.
Scotland's
No, it's
back
not my
garden.
garden. I'll have to put my backdrop off. I'll show you in a minute when I put the backdrop off.
Oh my.
Or actually,
Yeah,
what I'll do is
I'm
I'll
just
take
gonna-
some photos with my phone and put it in the chat.
I'm just going to grab a drink. I won't be a sec.
Yeah, my kitchen's over there, but it's far enough away for you not to be able to see that dishes
Oh
are
no,
not in the
this
dishwasher yet.
is like one of these programs where they send teams in to help
Yeah.
you.
Very
Oh,
posh.
It was
very
tidy
posh.
this morning, but it's taken a bit of a hit through the day.
It's all got a bit out of hand.
Are we
Yeah.
are we sending Kim and Aggie your way? Are we, Kathy?
Yeah, I know.
Aye, that's what it's like, honestly. That's what it's like.
Mm.
Right, background effects. Wait, I'll
Well,
take this off.
Well, never mind. Never
Uh,
mind. Oh, I'm
none.
interested to see the messy kitchen. Sarah, whereabouts are you?
So I'm in Kent, in England.
All right. Yeah.
So down south. I have mostly I do have P.A.D, but I also have blockages in my neck and in my left subclavian as well. So
That affects your
that's-
arms.
that affects my left arm. So I'm just kind of making a mental note at the moment whether or not I did try to have surgery, but it was fouled. It didn't work.
They didn't do it
So-
for the
So
subclavian,
you've
no?
been in for surgery.
Yeah, I think a few months ago now. Yeah, I went to have the stent in my left subclavian.
Right,
Um,
didn't work.
And it didn't work, but I'm now under somebody else. But he's saying just live with it and you'll be
Sure.
fine. I'm quite tempted to push again and maybe have another go.
How much does it bother you? How painful is it? How difficult is it?
It's a hard one. So I mean, I have movement, but if I go to put it behind my back, it really hurts. So it catches if I'm doing the rucksack or if I'm, putting my swim costume on like today. And I think it affects me, like if I wanted to do weights with my son at the gym,
Yeah.
I can't do things like
Yeah.
that. I need the children to come and carry the shopping.
Yeah. And do you think
Washing.
would surgery help with that? Only if you
Ah.
could clear it.
I don't
I mean-
know. I don't know how it all works, to be honest.
Because it depends whether they're going to clean it out or put a stent in, doesn't it? Because a stent is not necessarily going to be helpful in a place that already hurts when you do those actions.
Oh,
Mm.
I
would
just
have
thought it
thought.
might all go away magically, Kathy.
Yeah, we all hope that.
I started
No,
I started worrying about my arm because when I put my arm up my back, a couple of months ago, I could feel like a strain in my arm here when I was putting my arm up my back.
I
Not
think
that I do
that's
it
just-
that often anyway,
That's just your muscles,
but
Mike.
that's just muscles. Yeah,
It's
it's
just your
just
muscles.
I honestly, Dawn, I freak about everything.
I
I
know,
literally
it's
freak
like,
about
you know what? It's
everything.
one of those
in the
things like,
gym
it
3
hurts
times
when
a
I do
week.
this.
Weights.
It's like, well, don't do
Put my
that.
arm right
Don't
up
do it,
over
yeah.
my back. Right up over my back.
I know, but I do
And
a
I
lot.
can't do that. I can't
Yeah,
do
no,
that with
Sarah's
this one.
serious.
'cause
Like
it's
Sarah's
not as
serious,
good.
not you, Mike. You're being silly Billy, but Sarah has serious.
Sorry.
No,
sorry.
but I do a lot of
My bad.
yoga as well, and I've just qualified. I've just been studying seasonal yoga, and I've just qualified in that, and it's just
Oh, well done.
thank you. I just wanted to do something different for myself. I didn't think about the teaching aspect, but hey, that's part of the qualification now. So
Yeah,
something
well, I
else
mean,
in
the
the
thing
bag.
is, there's lots of people who have difficulties who do yoga. So having a teacher that understood that would be helpful.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I'm just a bit peed
Yeah,
off with
that's
it
very
all, to
true,
be
isn't
honest.
it?
Yeah, I
'Cause
bet you are.
yeah, I know. But it's true. Like if it's you have someone who's training you in something who's understands
Who's
properly. 'Cause
also,
then
aye,
there's nothing more
struggles
annoying
with-
than a young fit person telling you stop,
Yeah.
and you think I was fine when I was your age as well. But
I
you know,
know. I know.
stuff has happened since then. Like yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, I don't know about the subclavian thing. Does it grow collaterals around it? What's the risk of exercise? Do you know?
Well, I had my heart checked out because they said it was all like hand in hand. You know, if I had
Yeah.
this level of disease, but my heart seems okay. I was just told not to do bumper cars or weights
Yeah.
Combination.
Wow, that's
at the
random.
same time. I think
Well,
you forgot that bit.
I've got 100% blocked artery in my heart.
Oh,
An LED bypass. I can run in the gym. I can lift weights. I can ride a bike. But I've created a massive collateral network. But I
right.
wonder sometimes if you've got, well, I don't understand why I have this disease in the first place because I've never smoked. But I think sometimes if you've got the disease without any kind of what they would call a risk factor, that there's actually an underlying sort of vaguely autoimmune or inflammatory thing going on that I don't know, you know, they don't know how the disease behaves when it's that way because it's not the sort of same, it's not arrived at the same, it's not come from the same route. But I just eventually, well, the rehab I had the first time round in 1996 was so good that I trusted myself to be able to do everything. And then when I had it was 96, it would have been 10 years later that the first artery in my leg actually became noticeably presented as difficult and it interrupted my walking style and I had to stop running 10k races. But the other leg was all right. But then when the other leg joined the party, it was worse than the one that had been marginally difficult. So the first leg became asymptomatic then because I had worked up so much collateral that when it got a holiday from walking, it thought, this is great. But of course, after a few years, those collateral networks close up because you're no longer calling for it. And the reason you're not calling for it is that the worst leg is now so bad that unless you were to do one-legged exercises, which is really
Yeah.
hard to do, you're just not asking that leg to deliver anything.
yeah.
So I've
No,
always
they,
kind of,
Kathy, I understood that the collateral arteries, they don't ever close up, but they just like, lie
they
kind of
just go
dormant,
dormant. They just go
Aye,
for a sleep. But to
I
wake
do.
them
Well,
up, it's like
understandable.
Groundhog Day. It's really hard.
Oh, is that?
You have to really go at it for about 2-3 months. And
Oh,
then they will wake up. They do wake up. But
Right,
what they
okay.
do, absolutely do, and quite early, if you put the effort in, especially at something like the gym and circuits, that's why I'm always plugging this as well as the walking, you lose that kind of feeling of being an invalid, struggling to get out of a chair,
yeah.
feeling like your legs are dead heavy and that nothing will move when you want to move and everything's stiff and you feel you've got this weight as if I mean, I am a pensioner, I'm 75, but you feel like, I feel like I'm 85 in a bad day, and regular kind of movement exercise as well as walking takes away that
See,
takes
Kathy, I
away
don't
that
have
feeling.
sorry to interrupt, Kathy, but I don't have a pulse in my left arm. It's just literally blood flow now
Yeah.
since the surgery. So I just presumed it was just weak
Well,
because it's not got that extra oomph going behind it.
if you don't have a pulse and I wonder why they're telling you not to use weights. What is the risk of using weights?
I can
That's
actually
interesting.
feel the sprain up here, and I think that's because of the
They don't
blocked
want you to put pressure
arteries.
on that artery.
Well,
It-
I actually feel it when I mean, I was lifting weights with my son, just passing him over, but I can feel, I can't explain it. I can just feel a bit off afterwards
Feel like
when
a
I pick something
strain in the
heavy
neck.
up.
See, the
Yeah.
odd thing is that they tell you to exercise, well, say with angina, with controlled angina. So, and I've I mean, I have angina, but I take medicine in the morning, so I don't have angina. But if it comes on, like if I have to shovel snow and you have to maybe shovel snow in the morning when it doesn't, your circulation hasn't really woken up. If I use my spray, it gives you an instant boost. The angina will disappear. And I asked my cardiologist, am I safe to do this? And he says, as long as it goes away when you use the spray and you don't let your heart rate go stratospheric, yes. So I've always carried on within the limits of, pain restriction, which fits with the P.A.D thing, you know. But if you get active angina, they tell you to rest because obviously you don't want to put a strain in the heart. But I'm exercising. I have got angina. I mean, when I get up in the morning, it can sometimes be there. I can sometimes feel it. And I
what
just
is
kind of try to.
angina, Kathy?
Well, for me, it presents as a feeling of like somebody sitting on the top of my chest. You just kind of feel a wee bit as if you're not quite
Right, okay.
kind of being able to take a breath. But lots of people have different symptoms. Some people can have. The only time I've ever had it in the jaw was when they were actually in the middle of doing the last procedure, when they put the 2 stents in, and all of mine's on the right side, all the blockage is on the right side, so he's poking about with a drill, you know. And that's when I could feel angina in my jaw. I've never felt it before, and it's just like an ache, it's like a pain, you know. But I just why I didn't recognise it when it first happened. I didn't recognise it was heart disease because I thought it would be
So
I don't know what I thought, you know.
do you have a spray that you spray underneath your tongue then,
Yeah, but I
Kathy, is
haven't
it?
used the spray since a year past April because when I got the stents,
Okay.
because the angina almost all of the time went away, and what I get in the morning is just what you would call starting the day angina, but in the time before the tablets kick in, the long-acting
Yeah.
tablets. So I take a long-acting tablet. But going to the gym, obviously, I'm going at the back of 7 in the morning. I'm only taking the tablets at the back of 6. So I try to take them as soon as I get up. So I might still have a residual sort of tightness because I'm then getting out of my bed 10 minutes later to make sure I can get out the door. So in the winter, that routine's going to have to change in some way because that's not really compatible with getting to the gym at 7:30 for a start. I won't be able to drive in the dark. I won't be able to drive in the snow. I won't be able to clear the snow out the drive. And I won't be
Do you
able to
take a
walk in
blood?
the
Do you
snow.
take a blood thinner as well?
Yeah, clopidogrel.
Do you take it in the morning or in the evening?
I've started taking it in the evening. I used to take it in the morning,
Yeah.
but other people who were diagnosed after me were being told to take it in the evening because there was
Right.
a suggestion that it was more effective in the evening. So I've changed it to the evening. The other thing that's
Yeah,
in my
'cause
mind is it probably makes no difference, but I had the 2 eye bleeds in the morning, both of them in the morning.
right.
And I was taking the clopidogrel in the morning, and clopidogrel is an issue if you have bleeding. The reason I have the eye bleeds though is because I have macular degeneration, so it's not something that normal people would have a risk of, but because I've got that on top, it works against it. I have to take it for my heart, but it isn't very good for leaky blood vessels in your eyes. So I think if I take it in the evening, I'm then asleep for 8 hours, it's less chance of probably the full dose effect when I'm up in the morning, when my blood pressure is probably at its highest, and then I've had these 2 bleeds. So I'm just trying to do anything that looks like it might mitigate that, so I don't have another one.
Yeah, I only asked because I'm on a low dose aspirin, as you know, but I've read that it's better
I
to
think
take
you should be on
aspirin in the
clopidogrel.
evening because it's a
But
slow release aspirin that over
yeah,
24 hours. If you wake up in the morning, if you've took it the night before and you wake up in the morning, there's less chance of you having a heart attack or anything
yeah,
because your
that's the
aspirin's at
thing.
its peak.
Your heart attack risk, and obviously for me it's greater because I've had one. Your heart attack risk is first thing in the morning, especially for some
Yeah.
reason Monday mornings, and especially Monday mornings in January. I had my
Wow.
heart attack in the middle of August.
Yeah, we're a bit different.
on a Thursday, but it was first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I have that.
How do you
Whatever
cope with all the bruising? Sorry, how do you cope with all the bruising? I get a lot of bruising on this clopidogrel, especially when I was
I
cycling
stick
on
ice on
holiday.
as soon as
I
possible.
do too.
An
I
ice
just say,
pack.
you should see the other guy. That's what I always say about him.
Listen, somebody on a cross-channel ferry. We were on a cross-channel ferry to Brittany at the start of our holidays, I was all dressed up, and we went to the posh restaurant. It was the posh restaurant on the Pong Avon, so the posh boat with the posh restaurant. And their tables are very close together there. There's like tables for two, so you can, you know, look into each other's eyes. And it's a buffet starter, and Jerry got up to go to the buffet, and the guy next to me leant over and said, I was covered in bruises because
Yeah.
any activity involving camping of any description, packing up a trailer
Yeah.
tent, packing up a van, I get covered in bruises. And this guy next to me leaned over and said, did he beat you? You can tell me, he said, he's not here. And I kind of looked at him and I
bless.
laughed, you know. And then I told Jerry, and Jerry said, did you tell him? I said, I don't want to disclose my medical condition to be. Actually, after a bit, I said to him, he doesn't beat me. I said, I take blood thinners. And he went, oh, but I said, but thank you for asking. And I thought, if I'm stuck in a cross-channel ferry with a guy, what am I going to do? If he did, you know. But no, that I stick ice. Ice is the thing to do as soon as possible. So I've got ice packs in the fridge. You know, you get these ice packs for
Right.
sprains.
Yeah,
So that you
I
can
use actually
use
peas
stuff
and
to
carrots.
use
I
do
actually
what?
use peas and carrots.
I've used peas if it needs to drape around it.
Yeah.
But the biggest
Yeah.
problem I've had with clopidogrel is nosebleeds.
Oh no.
Right. Okay.
Two horrors. But I've now cracked them as well. Put ice in the back of your neck.
Mm.
That's where you put the ice on the back of your neck, and you hold your nose there, and you lean slightly forward, and you don't let go of your nose for 10 minutes.
You know what it hit? My dad's doctor told him to use Afrin to stop his nosebleeds, which I thought was
To use
interesting.
what? What is that?
Afrin, a nose
Aspirin?
spray, an Afrin nose spray
Oh, right.
to
I don't think we
stop
have
his
that.
nosebleeds. I would think
I
that
can
would
use
burn,
a
but
saline spray. I tell you what my doctor did, the GP did, which was the best thing ever, and nobody's done before. Because it's a 45-minute drive to the hospital from here, and this is the side that's been the problematic one. I get little ones in this, they're never serious. They're like anterior. It's the posterior ones that are serious, and the two of them have been like floods, you know, absolute last hours and hours and hours, flooding down the back of your throat. And it was one of these, and he told me to go down to surgery, and he took adrenaline on a stick. He couldn't stop, so he put
interesting.
adrenaline on a stick, and it stopped it. But
Interesting.
by the time
Wow.
I got in the car and got back to the house, it started again. But he said to me, as soon as you get in the house, put ice on the back of your neck and sit forward and don't move for 20 minutes. And that stopped it. Between the adrenaline that he put on it, it was just a wee spike, because the two previous ones never stopped.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm.
So I had my nose absolutely crushed by a softball. It was awesome. If you know the Brady Bunch, it was one of those Marsha moments. Marsha, smashed.
That's about
And it blocked off one of my, I don't know, sinuses or whatever. So it was bad. So they went in to just, straighten it, and they said that they had to stop the procedure because I'm allergic to adrenaline. I never really inquired, but it's always been in my records that I'm not allowed. And they told me that I should actually wear a bracelet that says I'm allergic to adrenaline.
I can't take adrenaline at the dentist, but I mean, this was a
Interesting.
tiny amount. Whereas if the dentist gives me an injection with adrenaline, I go all that shaky, faint way. So I don't
Yeah.
have the injections with adrenaline
it-
anymore.
And because adrenaline, like that's the treatment I used to get when I was a child when I had an asthma attack.
Really?
Because that was before they had like proper inhalers and that. And if you had a
Yeah.
bag attack, they would just give you a shot of adrenaline, and it would whiz up your arm, and your heart would race.
Mm,
But
Mm.
of course, it opens up your lungs, and then it
Yeah.
eases the asthma attack.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I don't know. So it obviously makes your heart beat a lot faster, which is maybe why it's not a great idea for you, Kathy, right?
No.
How do
And
you
I
know?
reckon
So
I've
it's very
got a
odd.
high level of adrenaline circulating all of the time, because
Oh,
I'm never
okay.
short of energy.
No,
I never short of energy. I mean,
fight or flight, she's ready. Aye.
I always. I mean, it's probably that's the thing. It just burnt out my immune system. Absolutely. I think.
The thing is, like, well, your thing is you've got lots of grand solutions there, Kathy, because you're into this sort of thing. But like Sarah, it sounds like her situation is left a wee bit hanging, and they haven't really.
Yeah.
told you what's what and told you what you
No.
can do, right? You just made you nervous and saying you what you
Yeah.
can't do. But it's
Oh,
like, well, what
yeah,
can
yeah,
you do?
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I've,
and
I've just been told I'm a ticking time bomb for a stroke. See you in 1
Yeah,
Brilliant.
year.
but well,
brilliant.
so am
Yes.
I.
Yeah, see
you
you in
know.
see you in 12 months. Yeah, off
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, in A&E.
Bye.
Yeah.
But that's
Aye.
dreadful, isn't it? Because there's plenty you can do, but you have to have the confidence and know that it's not going to
Yeah.
make your situation worse, right? And in fact,
Well,
not
I
doing any
am.
exercise is going to make it worse.
Well,
Actually,
I
yeah.
would
I am
want to
very
know the
active.
answer to that. I would want to know the answer to that, because what you're talking about, having no pulse in your arm, I have got no pulses in most of my feet, but one pulse at the front, and there is one pulse in the other foot. It's not strong, but it is. You can hear it, but that's the only pulses. There's no pulses behind the knees, and it's blocked higher up. Now, they tell you to walk to create collateral. I've got a completely blocked artery in my heart, but all around it is all the collateral that I've created by exercising. So in your situation, it would not be helpful for that blockage if there was some other route for the blood, but I don't know if you can create collateral. What I do know about carotid arteries is that if you have narrowing, and I know I have, well, 60–70% narrowings in one, I don't know about the other, and that's 14 years ago. But I do understand if you have narrowings in your carotids, the other carotid takes over and supplies extra. So there's obviously some, but I mean, they tell you if you're a stroke risk, you should exercise.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've just been kind of left with this kind of, so what they're asking you to do would potentially add to the risk.
It's very
So
difficult. I mean, I am a very active person anyway. You know, I've done school run this morning. I've done work. I've been for a swim, and I've come home and done dinner. You
yeah,
know, so I am
Mhm.
very active. But it's like with the complete blockage one side. I think the complete blockage is that side. My 70% or 75% is this side.
Right.
And what I understand it's doing is, because I get the whooshing in my head all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sending the blood down to my arm because it can't come up from this way from my heart.
Right, right.
So it's like, so that
So
one's
that's where the
busy doing
blockage
that
is,
one.
down between the heart and your carotid.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I've got I can't remember what the pulse range is on my groin and my, my legs
Yeah.
and what have you. But I do actually feel quite well.
Yeah. How many opinions have you had?
So I started out with the NHS. They didn't like all my questions, so I kept getting passed around. And then after the failed surgery, the consultant came and said to me that I needed to see somebody else, not that wasn't in that hospital, and recommended that I go and see the consultant that he trained under.
Right.
So I went and saw him, and he seems to have a lot of expertise, but I don't know, I don't feel 100% satisfied to just carry on. But
No, I mean, they've
maybe
told you to go away, don't do this, don't do that, and you've got a massive stroke risk. I mean, how old are you?
52, 52.
No, I mean, you're still young. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
I
that's
mean,
why they won't stent, because they say
no, I
I'm
know, I
too
get
young.
that. I know.
They say
Um,
that a lot. In England, they do say that quite a lot to a number of patients. I've seen in the group, especially in the UK group, that people say, "Oh, they won't do any surgery on me. They won't put stents in because I'm too young
It's too
for it."
risky, Mike, because you're too
Yeah.
young. I mean, they couldn't stent my heart. They had to do a bypass. And when that one graft, the right coronary artery blocked, I had a heart attack, and they couldn't open it, and they couldn't stent it. They said I wasn't suitable for stents, full stop. I've just had 2 stents fitted a year past April. I've not without any problem. And the guy told me that, he said, I don't know how much you'll get back, because he said, I don't know what the effect of the 100% blocked artery is. I said, but I know what it is. I was running 10K races with these other arteries while that was blocked. And he said, well, if you have a problem with it, come back and I can open it up. It's been blocked for 25 years.
wow.
That's amazing.
I'm
I
in
want to
jaw
just
drop.
jump in really quick because we're coming up on the end of the time here. Just for our online version of it, we can continue the conversation offline. Just make sure that whomever is watching on YouTube, just like this video and subscribe to our channel for more great content like this, and to join us every single week. I know coming up in a couple of weeks, we have more researchers that are going to be joining this conversation. So you don't want to miss that. And make sure, if you want to know what trials are happening in the UK, go to PADtrials.org, because we're continuing to update that website with all of the trials as they are leading the world in terms of the number of studies they are doing in one nation, so one area. So make sure subscribe to our channel and everything. But we appreciate everyone tuning in online, but we're going to continue this offline. If you want to join our offline conversation in the future, make sure you email info@padhelp.org.